Huh, what do we have here? All right, so those of you with a keen eye that recognize that adapter plate and the shifter bracket right off the bat, don't give it away. I'm gonna tell everyone else towards the end of the video, I kind of just slip it in there, which engine and transmission combo I'm going with. So those of you that do recognize it, I know you're thinking, you're like, Chance, brother, how 2009 of you? And I'm right there with you, I agree, but I have to do this swap at least once in my life. I've always wanted to, so now is my chance because of the nature of the project and being strictly a budget. Tidbit of info, my engine with the engine harness draped over it, the ECU, the adapter plate, the shifter bracket, and the transmission, get this, cost less than a good condition T56 transmission for an LS. That's not even a joke. Another metric, put it to you this way, since CD009s are starting to get expensive, a 2006 CD009 with the external slave costs more than the engine with the ECU and the engine harness and this adapter plate. Actually costs about like $150 to $200 more on average than what that cost me. So just to give you kind of an idea of how much I'm actually paying for this project and why it fits so well with this. It makes the power that I'm looking for. And then just swappability. It's going to be pretty easy. I don't have to contend with drive-by-wire. I don't have to worry about any CAN bus systems. I don't have to worry about trying to figure out any kind of anti-theft system or immobilizers. Old school engine for an old school swap. We're going to go and do that. That's just kind of the Reader's Digest right there. If you want, save your really good comments for the next video that I do. I'm going to go in full depth why I chose what engine I did and what transmission I did, as well as what year engine I'm using and exactly why. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, let's just get on over to the Forester and check it out. All right, guys, so here's the Forester as promised. As you can see, a lot of stuff got done on it. Is it pretty? Not really. But the whole goal with this thing is to make a really fun budget drift car. We're not going to spend a whole lot of money on it, so everything that you see on it's been pretty much pulled from a junkyard, exterior and interior wise, just to get it, you know, one uniform color kind of, you know, scheme or whatever. But anyway, this front bumper is a 98 Impreza L front bumper, and the trimming was actually really easy. So the way this bumper comes, it's already a little too far out. So what I did is I took a piece of cardboard and I traced the Forester front bumper, and I just lined it up right here, and then I trimmed it off. A little bit of a gap right here, but I could tighten that up if I pull it up, and then if I was to put a zip tie back there or something like that. But overall, not too bad. Really changes the look of the car. Now, I got this bumper from a junkyard, so it's kind of twisted and mangled, and it's not very pretty, but hey, it works. So not going to complain for what I think I paid like $15 or $20 for it. The wheels are cheap, knockoff. I think they're Avid One AV20s. They're 17x8 plus 35 offset, and I'm running 8mm spacers in the front and rear, so it's a square setup. Tires are, I believe these were 235 40 R17. Yeah, they are. So again, squared. A buddy of mine gave me a stock, this OEM spoiler right here, and I think it looks really great. Paint matched everything. This door, I couldn't find a white Forester in a junkyard that had a good door on it to save my life, so I ended up painting that door. Here's some clips of that from before. And if you remember, this is exactly what the car looked like before. I mean, it was missing every single body panel. It was missing a large amount of interior, so I was actually able to get almost all of the interior for the car. Ordered these floor mats, got the panels, put this little NRG steering wheel in here for now with the short hub back there. Put in a little Pioneer radio. I swapped out all the speakers for Pioneer speakers. Nothing fancy, just so it sounds good. I removed all the tint, put in my little Broadway mirror. Oh, and I actually found carpet for it. So I steam cleaned it, extracted it, and put in the carpet. So that's kind of nice. And then as you might notice that it doesn't have the 01 rear hatch on it anymore. I converted this car to a 99. I just like the way the 99 looks a lot better, like with the front end as well. So like on the 01s, they kind of like dip down the way it was before. It's like the hood kind of dips down and the grill's a little bit different. So yeah, I just like the way the 99 looked better. I want to find a JDM grill. Man, surprisingly, there's very few things for this car. I thought it would kind of be like a 240 or any other Subaru where parts were just easy to find. You can find depot replacement lights for everything, and you be able to go to the aftermarket for pretty much everything on it, and that's just not the case with this specific Forester. So finding stuff has kind of been tough, and I was very surprised. I got all that sorted. So anyway, I mean, it's running coilovers. They're just some Godspeed. I think they're called the Maxx series. Nothing special. They were cheap and they fit like cheap coilovers do. So I just wanted to note that I didn't pay $940 for these coilovers. I had originally ordered the Mono RS coilovers for $720. I know the picture says $740, but when I purchased them, they were $720 shipped. And they were having an inventory issue and they couldn't actually find the Mono RS ones, or I guess they were out of stock. So they went ahead and sent me their Maxx series. They upgraded me for free and sent those, and that's what's on the car. Yeah, that's how they kind of fit on there. The backs I didn't have any issue with, and again, they ride really good. They feel somewhat stiff, but you know, I go over bumps, it's not bouncy mess. Feels pretty solid right now. I need an alignment on it. The V8 swap is really going to help this a lot. So pulling this old engine out, it's old, tired, automatic. Pulling that out, putting a VH45, made it up to a VG30 5-speed, and then running an R180 from an STI in the rear with STI rear axles and rear hubs, and then nice STI brakes in the rear, Cadillac ATS-V Brembos out front. That's kind of the plans for this thing. Again, keeping it somewhat budget friendly. If you don't know, Cadillac ATS-V Brembos are quite cheap. You can buy them because they're Brembos made in Italy, but they're distributed through AC Delco, so you can get them for really good domestic prices. Like on Amazon, if you look up Cadillac ATS-V Brembos, usually they're less than 200 bucks for a caliper. So be able to run Brembos up front for pretty cheap. Maybe use like a K&S brake adapter kit up front, and then I'll be able to just run stock STI Brembos in the rear and just use the stock STI parking brake just for my e-brake until I swap over to a dedicated hydro. But yeah, that's kind of the plans for now. So if you want to know more about the front bumper swap, let me know. I can go and take this front bumper off and show you how I trimmed it up top to fit on here. I know that this seems to be kind of a thing to do with these cars. I saw one guy do it and I was like, you know what, that looks really sick. I'm gonna try it myself. Let me try it on a cheap junkyard bumper before I go out and buy a newer one, because you can still buy these bumpers brand new from aftermarket places such as like Certifit or AutoFit, places like that. And yeah, so, but I didn't want to buy a new one and then chop it up and then it's all wrong. So I just went ahead and went with this junkyard bumper, and it's kind of serendipitous that it was the same color scheme as the Forester originally was. But anyways, that's kind of enough rambling there. I'll cut the video here. Just wanted to give you guys a short update on this thing. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out again. So anyway, be sure to follow this thing if you're interested in it. Like I said, I think that V8 is going to make this thing an entirely different car. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.